Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy FreshBoyLuv, the first person that you guys know. I'm bringing you guys another brand new reaction video. Today's video, we're going to be reacting to top 10 paranormal movies inspired by true stories. It's going to be a really good one because if y'all know me by now, y'all know I'm a big horror fan. So I love anything that's scary, from movies to games to like any like events. So this is gonna be a fun one for me. But if you guys are not big horror movie fans, I recommend not watching it. But if you do enjoy my videos, always make sure to like and sub to the channel, turn on post notifications to know when I always post a brand new video. And without further ado, let's hop right into this one. And if you guys missed my last reaction video, make sure y'all go check that out. Um, and yeah, and I appreciate you guys always supporting my videos. The content has been booming lately. I appreciate it so far. And without further ado, let's hop right into this and see some scary movies
The
inspired by true
martyrs
stories.
commands you.
For this list, we'll be looking at
The Conjuring and the Annabelle series, like those, movies, like, because they're pretty much all combined. They all like intertwined with each other with their own separate stories and like a way too. But those series are one of my favorite like ever. Um, Let me know if you guys like agree or not, if like you guys have seen them. But I would say Annabelle's probably more my favorite. I do love The Conjuring though. I mean, they're both my favorite, but I probably have to go with, I feel like I watch Annabelle more than The Conjuring. But yeah.
various supernatural movies that are based on actual reported hauntings. Which of these stories do you find most fascinating? Let us know in the comments below. Number 10, Poltergeist. A
Which you
classic
guys,
of the
one of a
paranormal
very
genre,
classic famous
Poltergeist
movie.
helped further establish Steven Spielberg as a creative behemoth, even though he was only credited as a writer and producer.
Drop it down in the comment section if you guys ever seen one of these
The
movies
movie's
on this
story is
list,
original, but
or
it was
if you guys have a
allegedly
favorite
inspired by a
horror
haunting
movie.
that occurred on Long Island in the late 50s. The hauntings affected the Herman family, who resided within the Seaford area. The Hermans were afflicted with various paranormal phenomenon, and it eventually got so bad that a priest was called to investigate.
After this phenomenon went on for several weeks, the Hermits became confused, perhaps even a little bit frightened.
The link with Poltergeist primarily lies in the house's suburban location.
You know, I love watching like horror movies and like stuff. You know, I don't know, cause I just enjoy like thriller, like horror movies. Like I don't know, like it's just my favorite genre. But the ones that are like based or inspired by true like stories, those are the ones that like I enjoy the films, but it's like in the back of my head, I'm thinking like that shit's scary because it's something that's close to like what happened to somebody or like to some family. And I never experienced any paranormal or ghosts or anything. And I believe in ghosts and all that stuff. I believe in ghosts and I believe in demons. That's just me. Some y'all may not like, like believe in ghosts or like stuff, but that's like everybody has like their own like opinion or like their own thing like on like on the topic, and that's completely fine. But for me, like I believe in that stuff. So when things are inspired by true stories or based on true like events, it like makes me like second guess. It's like damn, like that to me like that's scary. It makes it even more like scarier because like that can happen to anybody, and it's unfortunate it happened to these specific people. But yeah, it's like damn, like imagine going through that. Like I know that must be like a terrifying like thing to go through. Because I don't want to go through any like paranormal shit. I would probably like lose it. Like no cap.
The presence of parapsychologists, and the attachments that the ghosts shared with the house's young inhabitants. As far as we know, though, the Hermans didn't hop through demonic portals.
Damn, hold on, girl.
Number 9, The Rite. In Mikael Hofstrom's The Rite, Anthony Hopkins plays an exorcist, Father Lucas Trevant.
Speak of the devil.
The movie seems like just another exorcism film, but it's actually quite unique in that it's based on a true story. The movie's loosely adapted from a book called The Rite, The Making of a Modern Exorcist, which was written by American journalist Mike Baglio. The book is about an exorcism-practicing priest named Father Gary Thomas, who was made into protagonist Michael Kovac for the film.
I failed her. You did what you thought was best.
Baglio personally attended some exorcisms conducted by Father Gary, who later worked as a creative consultant on the film. According to him, the exorcism scenes within The Rite are, quote, very accurate.
We're standing alone! The opponent's right!
To be
Number 8,
possessed, that's probably
Child's
one of the
Play.
scariest
The
things.
soul of a serial killer inhabits the body of a
Looking
plastic
from the
doll
outside.
after practicing a voodoo ritual, and said doll goes on a killing spree.
Hi, I'm Chucky.
If Chucky is inspired or based from true events, yo, yo, let me tell you, I'm beating and burning that doll's ass. Like, I guarantee you, I would not let a doll try and kill me. I will beat the heck out of that doll. Like, straight up, like, no cap. I would have never thought that. And Child's Play is one of my favorite, favorite classic, like, horror movies. I would have never guessed it's being inspired by a true story.
The story is obviously ridiculous, but it also shares eerie similarities with that of Robert the Doll, who allegedly terrorized the Otto family in the early 1900s. Numerous people reportedly witnessed the doll moving and laughing, and its child owner blamed various misadventures around the house on Robert, much like how Andy blames things on Chucky.
It was Robert, he would tell his parents. Robert did it.
Both stories also contain
Yo,
the
that
use of
doll looks
supernatural
scary as
magic,
hell. I ain't
as
gonna
Robert
care. I
was
would
allegedly
probably be
given to
scared
the
to
Otto
sleep with that
family
doll.
by a disgruntled servant who practiced voodoo. Take an old creepy story, add in some social commentary about 80s consumerism, and you have Child's Play.
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
Number 7, Silent Hill. Okay, obviously Silent Hill is based on a video game first and foremost, but that doesn't mean that anyone adapting it couldn't pull from other sources too.
I don't really like that movie. I never played the game, so maybe the game might be better. But I
Screenwriter
never.
Roger
I
Avary
watched this
was
movie
inspired
once.
by
Maybe
the
I need to
real ghost
rewatch it
town
again,
of
see if I
Centralia,
like it or not.
Pennsylvania,
But
and
I didn't
used
really
it
care
to
for the
model
movie.
Silent Hill. In fact, the movie's working title was Centralia. A mine fire began underneath the town in May of 1962, but it wasn't until the early 80s that the devastating effects became apparent.
Results were disastrous. Roads began to swell and crack open, releasing toxic fumes.
The fire
Oh, shit.
continues to rage under the town's streets to this day, at one point opening up a large sinkhole that bellowed dangerous plumes of carbon monoxide. The government spent over $40 million relocating residents, and Centralia quickly became the ghost town that it is today.
The government offered residents a substantial cash sum to leave.
Number 6.
Yeah,
The
that's
Possession.
crazy.
This movie, starring
Kind of like
Walking
a
Dead's Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
Chernobyl
is very
type of
loosely
situation.
based on the story of the Dybbuk box.
Oh, the Possession? Yo, this was a crazy good
Previously
movie,
owned
but
by
it
a
was
man
super
named
crazy.
Kevin Manis, the Dybbuk box was sold on eBay with a tantalizing
Kind of
story.
intense.
According to Manis, the wine cabinet was once owned by a Holocaust survivor and is inhabited by a malevolent spirit that causes supernatural occurrences.
The doors opened, and it was just like a cold breeze coming out.
Further owners of the cabinet continued Manis's claims, and the Dybbuk box soon became a sensation in paranormal circles. The story was even sold to Hollywood,
Oh, hell
who
no.
looked to capitalize on its success with The Possession. However, Manis has since admitted that he made the whole thing up to sell an old cabinet.
The one thing I wanted to do was to impress upon him how important it was that he get rid of the box.
Number 5, The Entity. Released just a few months after Poltergeist was the more adult-oriented The Entity. In this one, a single mother named Carla is harassed by a malevolent spirit.
Yeah, I think the demon, like, raped or something
The
like
movie
that.
is based on Frank DiFelitta's novel of the same name, which itself was inspired by the story of Doris Byther. Back in 1974, Byther contacted a parapsychologist with claims that an invisible entity had mistreated her.
We were in the kitchen talking with her about more of her experiences, alleged experiences, and a lower cupboard door flew open.
The parapsychologist and his team of investigators visited Byther's house over the next 10 weeks and confirmed that it was indeed haunted. However, there's little evidence to support this, and other professionals remain dubious about Byther's claims.
And it was animated, and then it was gone.
Number 4, The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Despite its
That was a
title,
really good
this
movie, too.
takes the age-worn exorcism story
One of my
and
classic
steers it in
favorites.
another direction. For one thing, it's more of a courtroom drama than a typical horror movie. The character of Emily Rose and the general story of the movie was largely inspired by the case of Annalise Michel.
Emily?
Ooh.
A young woman from Bavaria, Michelle had temporal lobe epilepsy and was diagnosed with psychosis. When traditional medication failed to treat her symptoms, her family brought in exorcists, believing that she had been possessed.
I firmly believe that Father Moore's suggestion killed her.
Objection, Your Honor!
After a staggering 67 exorcisms, Michelle passed away from malnutrition.
That'd be a
and
scary thing to
neglect.
witness to,
Both
like
her
in
parents and the
like an
so-called
like an exorcism.
were given suspended prison sentences.
That'd be like really
on
scary to
charges of
witness, like
negligent
firsthand.
homicide.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of negligent homicide.
Number 3, The Conjuring.
That's crazy.
Perhaps the most popular haunting movie of the 2010s, The Conjuring has its roots in real life. Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga play real paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who found great fame and success throughout the 1970s. They began their careers by investigating the Annabelle doll, whose story was made into the popular Conjuring spin-off series. The Perron family from the first movie is also...
And yo, Ed and Lorraine Warren, God rest their soul, they're like dead now, like they passed away, both of them. But they have like a basement in their house where they kept everything like secured from their paranormal experiences. Anything that was like either possessed, or that had to do something with anything that was like demonic. They kept everything in like this room, and they bless it or they had the room blessed like every so often to keep it safe from the outside world. And what they used to do, they used to have a museum, and they let people tour and stuff. But the only thing they tell you not to do is don't touch anything, because it could bring back, or like, I guess whatever was part of that thing, it could possibly go back. Yeah, they had like specific rules and like shit. So that way, you'll be safe from, any contact with whatever was attached to the object. But the Annabelle doll was probably the worst thing that they said they have ever like experienced. But I don't know if they allow people, because I think it's just the daughter now. So the daughter, I don't know if she allows people to tour the thing anymore. But yeah, that's some. Yeah, I don't. I would love to, venture through that. See, everything they gathered, but at the same time, like, nah. But yeah.
Real, and they suffered large
They helped a lot of
amounts
people, though.
paranormal
I can
activity
tell
in
you
their
that.
Rhode Island
I'm pretty sure
home.
they helped.
Number 2.
No, I was watching that.
This thing has been buried in the ground for 30 years. I wanted it to stay there.
Maybe I have a story worth telling.
Don't you just love ads?
Premieres
Not
June
really.
16th on FX. Stream on Hulu.
Number 2, The Exorcist. Like many classic movies, The Exorcist is based on a novel.
Oh hell no, bro! What the fuck?
William Peter Blatty
If I see somebody
published his
going
book
upstairs
just 2
like
years
that,
before the
I'm
movie was
running the other
released,
way.
and the story was reportedly influenced by The Exorcism of Roland Doe.
Mom! Mom! Oh my God! Richard!
That's one of the pseudonyms given to a young boy from Maryland who underwent numerous exorcisms in the late 1940s. Like the movie, the young boy was seen by 2 priests, and they reported that the boy was speaking in a deep voice that was not his own.
Satan, it's Saint Michael, and I demand you, Satan, and the other evil spirits to leave the body.
He also cowered in fear when shown religious objects and made objects fly across the room. Blatty also based the character of Father Merrin off of an archaeologist he met in Beirut named Gerald Harding.
I'm Father Merrin. Thank you.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell
If
to
y'all
get
enjoying this
notified
video,
about our latest videos.
make sure you hit that
Have the
subscribe
option to be
button.
notified for
Make sure y'all
occasional
smash that
videos
like
or
button.
all of them.
Turn on
If
post
you're on your phone,
notifications.
make sure you go into your settings
You
and
guys are
switch
awesome.
on notifications.
Number 1. The Amityville Horror. One of the most successful independent movies.
Now this shit, one of my favorite classic movies too. I like both the older and the newer version with Ryan Reynolds. This should probably be the scariest thing you could probably ever witness by firsthand, because I think the house is like unfixable, as in like I don't think anybody or any priest can get rid of the bad spirits that's in the house. This is so bad that like you just can't do nothing but just let it sit there, and just nobody can ever move into it. Like it's just that bad. Like, and that's actually pretty scary. Like I feel like I'll be super scared of this house. Like I don't want to drive by it. I don't want to be near it. I don't want to be in the same state as it. I want to be away from it. Oops. Sorry guys.
Of all time, the Amityville Horror shocked the world in 1979 and made its titular town a national symbol of paranormal activity. The movie is based on a book written by Jay Anson, which covers the claims made by the Lutz family. The Lutzes had moved into the house in which Ronald DeFeo Jr. killed his entire family. The Lutzes lived there for just under a month before fleeing in terror. According to them, the house was haunted and they were being terrorized by malevolent paranormal forces. While the book is an undeniable page-turner, it's been subjected to large amounts of criticism, with many skeptics doubting the Lutzes' story.
George and Kathy moved to California, claiming that they needed to escape the influence of the house and the glare of publicity as their story gathered momentum.
Do you agree with our picks?
That's
Check out this
scary,
other recent
though.
clip from
Like,
WatchMojo. And
I don't know if I could encounter and be able to face like a paranormal like activity. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that sure really scared the shit out of me. Like, I'm just saying. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Always remember to smash the like button, smash that sub button, always turn on post notifications so when I post a brand new video. And until next time, I will catch y'all later. Peace.